Thank you. My name is Ming Shea. I'm a new member of the Committee 100, so this is the first time I've served my duties. One of the housekeeping issues here. Later on, whenever you have some questions to ask for the panel during the discussion, please fill the forms on the table, and the staff will collect those questions and pass to the panel for discussion. At the present time, I would like to be very honored to introduce Mr. Senator James Sasser. James Sasser has devoted more than a quarter century to public service. He was educated at Vanderbilt University, where he received a Bachelor of Arts degree and a Doctor of Jurisprudence degree from Vanderbilt Law School in 1961. In 1998, Senator Sasser was elected as distinguished alumni of the Vanderbilt Law School. Senator Sasser practiced in law in Nashville until he was elected to the United States Senate in 1976. He was United States Senate from Tennessee for 18 years. Senator Sasser served as chairman of the important Senate Budget Committee, as well as chairman of various subcommittees of Appropriation Committee, the Banking Committee, and Governmental Affairs Committee. In 1995, he was appointed as a fellow at the Kennedy School at Harvard University. While at Harvard, he was appointed ambassador to the People's Republic of China by President Bill Clinton and served in that capacity for almost 4 years. He played a pivotal role in stabilizing Sino-U.S. relations and traveled with President Jiang Zemin on his historical state visit to the United States in 1997. Summing up Ambassador Sasser's tenure, Dr. Henry Kissinger said, "I have never known an ambassador who has done a better or more passionate job on Sino-U.S. relations than Ambassador Sasser." Senator Sasser served on the board of trustees of National Geographic Society and is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. He is vice chair and a member of the executive committee of the National Committee on U.S.-China Relations. He is president and senior advisor to FedEx Corporation and is a senior counselor to APCO Worldwide in Washington, D.C. Senator Sasser has served as a consultant to other U.S. corporations doing business in China, including the Ford Motor Company, the former Unico Corporation, and the Brown-Forman Corporation. Senator Sasser is married to former Mary Blantyne, born of the Louisville, Kentucky, and has 2 children, Grace Sasser, a lawyer in Nashville, and Elizabeth Portrait of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Senator Sasser.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, Ming, my dear friend, thank you very much for reading that long biography. I had no idea you were going to do that, but I'm flattered you did. It reminds me of an occasion some years ago. I'll tell my colleagues here from the Congress, when I was being introduced by a newspaper publisher in my home state. And he had a long biographical sketch like that on me, and he said, "Do you want me to read all of this?" And trying to appear modest, I said, "Certainly not." So he got up and introduced me this way. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Jim Sasser, and the less said about him, the better." Well, we're delighted today to have 2 of the brightest stars and the U.S. Congress to join us. And I'm particularly gratified to see that these two alert and articulate and brilliant young congressmen also have an interest in China, something that for a long time many of our congressmen and congresspersons simply did not have. Let me make a brief introduction. Well, before doing so, let me just say this. The title of our seminar or discussion today is Congressional Perspectives on China. And historically, Sino-American relations have been handled by the executive branch of government, which of course that should be the case, because the president under our Constitution is charged with conducting the foreign policy of the United States. With regard to Sino-American relations, it has been, our foreign policy towards China has been conducted almost exclusively until recent days by presidents, beginning with President Richard Nixon, who made the historic breakthrough with China in the 1970s, President Jimmy Carter, who then followed up with formal diplomatic relations in the late 70s, a number of presidents who had close relationships with China's leaders, including the senior George Bush, President Bill Clinton, George Bush Jr., and hopefully, as time goes on, our new president, President Obama. But what we have seen as the executive branch has conducted, by and large, fairly cordial relations with China, we have seen on the congressional side congressional attitude that has ranged from, in the early days, hostility, sometimes suspicion, congressional resolutions passed that have offended the Chinese leadership from time to time. I'm not questioning the authenticity of these resolutions. I'm simply saying that what we had many times was a dichotomy in the U.S. government between the executive branch, which was reaching out to China and trying to establish, along with the Chinese leadership, a more cordial relationship. And on the other hand, we had an equally powerful branch of the United States government, which was suspicious of China, wondered about China, hostile towards China, and passing various and sundry legislation or resolutions that really hampered, to some extent, the executive branches reaching out to China. Now, what we've seen, I think, in recent years is a Congress that has developed a more mature attitude towards China. I might say a more sophisticated attitude. A Congress that recognizes the rise of China and recognizes that this can be to the mutual benefit of both of our countries. I think our two panelists today represent this new level of sophistication and maturity in the field of foreign affairs, and particularly towards China, that we're now seeing starting to emanate from the Congress. Having said that, let me introduce my fellow panelists. First, on my immediate left is Congressman Mark Kirk. Congressman Kirk represents the 10th Congressional District of Illinois. He's now serving his 5th term in the Congress. He serves on the very powerful House Appropriations Committee and is co-chairman of the Committee on Bipartisan House U.S.-China Working Group. He holds 3 degrees, a bachelor's degree from Cornell University, a master's degree from the London School of Economics, and a law degree from Georgetown University. In addition to that, he holds the rank of commander, a reserve commander in the United States Navy. Congressman Kirk, we're delighted to have you today, and thank you for taking your time to join us. On his immediate left is Congressman Adam Schiff. Congressman Schiff represents California's 20th Congressional District. He is also a member of the powerful House Appropriations Committee and has the unusual honor of also serving on a second major committee of the House of Representatives, the Judiciary Committee. I might say on the Appropriations Committee, he serves on the very influential Foreign Operations Subcommittee. He serves on the House Permanent Intelligence Subcommittee. He's a graduate of Stanford University and the Harvard Law School. Adam and his wife Eve, and that's true, it is Adam and Eve, they have